Okay, so I'm not exactly live, but I did see that I've only been uploading you guys Nomad Diaries. So welcome to my channel. I'm Marinike. I know I have not been posting a whole lot of other videos like we do, but so I'm happy to be able to do that. And here we go. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is the fact that God has really been dealing with me about a lot of things, and this is actually about forgiveness. So when it really comes to situations like okay, so I'm gonna explain this to you. So I was told, okay, like sometimes you have to go on a fast to accept a blow, and not every. Oh, hold on, my Bible's playing in the background. So not everybody that you guys, hold on one second. This color is just really doing something to me. Let's see if this will be better. Oh, okay, there we go. We're just having to keep it up like that. So yeah, let me just tell you guys, God has been dealing with me, and like really sometimes it's not a nice situation, but like any parent, sometimes when you love your children, you're gonna have to kind of rebuke them or tell them, listen, do this or don't do this. So sometimes you will find that you're called to go on different fasts and things like that. So here I begin. It's a bit of a story, so get comfortable, get your coffee and your tea, and we shall discuss. So I've been going through it for real. Like I was told, in my own journey, okay, listen, there's something going on. I need for you to just listen, wait, and receive instruction. So during this journey, I was also told, okay, listen, don't eat. So I'm like, all right, I'm entering into a 3-day water fast, and I'm like just solely listening to the voice of God, praying, praising, going through all kinds of deliverance, all kinds of stuff. Now, I haven't done a 3-day water fast in some years. I always do like 21-day fast, 40-day fast. But the last time I did a 3-day water fast, it was a biblical 3-day water fast, was in the first book that I told you guys about, Something to Show for It. You can find that on Amazon or the link below. So I don't have time to get into all of that, but I will say this. Sometimes in this season where things are about to change, God is elevating, just a lot of things are changing. And it's not so much everything on the outside. Everything that is happening within, you're dealing with so much. So I'm seeing that in this season. I'm seeing that in a lot of people. But as it relates specifically to me and what I'm saying, it's like I'm thinking that, okay, I'm going to go on this fast, and I'm shown all these people in prayer. Go to this person, this person, this person, this person. And I want to share this part, right? The part that I've been dealing with is the fact that sometimes we are blocking our own blessings, or a mentality can block our own blessings for us, from us, against us. And what I mean by this is sometimes unforgiveness or being bitter or holding a grudge towards someone can cause you to stop your own blessing. I know it's just kind of like, why would you say that, Ren? But you would know this. Every time you walk past someone and you remember what they did, or so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so just like up and did that, you just can't seem to let it go. So I want to recommend a few things to you. If this is bitterness and like unforgiveness is blocking your blessing, you just need to stop what you're doing and go and just really go to the person and see if you can work it out. Sometimes let's just be honest, and let's keep 100%. Not everybody who has wronged you, you're just going to be like, oh, I forgive them in my mind. Sometimes, it says in the book of Matthew, let me pull that up, that if you know that somebody has something against you, you have to, and this actually happened when I was taking communion, or right after communion. So I was in the middle of communion, and I was like, well, I don't think anything's wrong. I think my heart's pretty pure. And then the next day, I saw somebody I knew, and it was just a really bad situation that began to unfold. And I was really, every time I saw him, I just couldn't even look him in the face. Like, I was so angry. Oh, not angry, but I was just hurt in general. So I like put my stuff down and I went to go and see this person. And what was really interesting was the contrast in the 2-3 people that I had these interactions with when I knew, okay, like, I'm gonna flip this script, okay? And I don't, I mean, I don't want to say I'm flipping the script, but really in when we are supposed to put down our offering, when we're supposed to like go through communion and you're checking yourself and you're like, okay, do I have something against somebody, and does somebody have something against me? Let me go to them right now, because I don't want anything reflected back to me. Like, we are the body, right? So I went through all of this and I'm just like, oh my God, I think I'm mad at these people and maybe they did nothing to me. So here are some practical steps on what you can do if you're recognizing that, oh my gosh, like, I feel like maybe this person, I have something against them. Go to them. The first person that I went to was so willing. He just sent me a text message immediately. Yeah, I'd love to see you. Sounds great. But the thing was, we can ask somebody to forgive us, or we can forgive somebody else, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be so much in our lives. It's not so much that we just don't have space, but when you see them in the market or something, you can just be like, oh my God, hey, and go your separate ways. It doesn't mean that you're just holding anything against them anymore. You can look them in the face, you can have a conversation, but maybe their lifestyle is not necessarily agreeable with mine. And we met and we talked things out, and it was really good. I felt happy to have that conversation. So the second one was a little harder. This person was so, every time I had an interaction with him, I was coming genuinely from a good place. But as I began praying and I sent this person a message, hey, how are you? He answered immediately, oh my gosh, hey, I'm good. And then he said, what do you want to talk about exactly? I was just like, I want to resolve something, and God asked me to talk to you. No response, just like was posting things on his Instagram. I was like, that's so some kind. But then in this revelation, when I was praying, God showed me this is just how he is. He's not somebody. He's not somebody who is a warm person. He's just gonna be callous. That was the word that God gave me. He's like a calloused heart. And initially, I was like, I don't want to feel this way about God's people. Let me just like talk to you. But that's okay. I still did what I felt I needed to do, and just to say, listen, like, I don't know what I did to get such a nasty response from you every time I meet with you, and you're just rude. I don't know what I did, why every time I think of like wanting to help somebody in your family, I have like anger and I'm depressed when I even think about you. So I don't want that to happen. And there was no response. So you guys, when you're going through this, if God is dealing with you with a lot of things, like maybe you're blocking your own blessing, it's go to the person first and just ask God to reveal their heart. Ask God to show you who this person is. Again, like I told you, you don't have to pray alone, like, because God sees everything. You don't have to go to psychics. You don't have to look up telepathy or anything like that. Just stay in praying in the spirit. And in like maybe an hour and a half, you will get your answer. God's gonna show you who's doing what behind your back, who's saying things about you. You're gonna see all kinds of things in the spirit, and you'll know. And then sometimes right in the morning, once you wake up, God's gonna give you something. So I want to share that with you, right? So we're moving forward, and I kept talking about why it's so important in this huge transfer of wealth. I'm telling you guys, the next few years is nothing to play with. So you don't want to be playing any kind of games or jokes or anything like that with what's supposed to be happening. And if you are blocking your own blessing, or stopping somebody who could be a destiny helper, you don't have to entertain them, but you don't need to have any kind of anger or bitterness in your heart toward anyone. That's just causing problems. So if somebody did that to you, or a lot of clients I've even dealt with sexual violence, a boyfriend who cheated on them, someone who stole from them, people that you can't trust, people who are putting doing spiritual attacks, spell work, witchcraft, stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard to want to forgive those people because you're like, well, what did I even do to you? But if I'm telling you all, if it's blocking your own blessing, you have to stop that. Just let it go, do what you need to do. If you can, try to go to that person directly. It says in the book of Matthew, if somebody has something against you, and I'm flipping it, if you have something against someone else, take that up with them immediately. And just pray about it. And know, hey, listen, we don't just come in just expecting anything. And I don't want to say expecting anything, but what I mean by that is have prayed up before you go there. Have your spiritual armor on, because the Bible says that you have to guard your heart. This is in the book of Psalms. So when you're moving forward, guarding your heart doesn't mean keeping a person away. It means filling your heart with the love of God. So you want to be careful when you're going to these people. If people start saying whatever, out of anger or whatever, they don't want to answer you, you already know who you are. You know that you're first and not last. You know that you are more than a conqueror. You know that you are above and not beneath. You know you are the head and not the tail. You know that you're a lender and not the borrower. So there's all kinds of things that you have to fill your heart with before you go to these people. But if you don't, you are seriously blocking your own blessing. And the transfer of wealth that's happening, you don't want to have any of that weird stuff coming up, because right when what I was seeing was it's going to be like suddenly miracles, like what the heck, and you're not going to feel as if you're not even worthy to be called in the spaces that you're being called. The great unfolding, the great revelation, the great uncovering that is happening all over the world. Okay, they're saying, let's use America as an example, right? This uncovering that is about to happen is going to be it's going to be bittersweet. And you want to be ready for everything that's coming, but you don't want to feel as if anybody can just take it from you. And let me remind you, so you have a calm heart, that what God has for you, no man, woman, witch, deacon, nobody can take that from you. But you just want to walk in there with your head held high, okay? And not with any sort of ugly, dark parts in your heart. That's part of the reason that you were chosen. You've been called. Because your heart is pure, because you do give to others, because you are empathic, because you would bend over backwards and give your shoes to another person, because you have truly repented of your sins, because you want to just be able to serve God in the most appropriate way. So with all that said, don't block your own blessings. God has really been dealing with me on this one, and it's not nice, but is part of each step. Every step is an internal progress. I think there was something I posted, I'm gonna check. I think it was actually on my Instagram. So if you can, there's a lot. Actually, this year about to receive a series of miracle blessings, time to be quiet, now start surveillance. There's 16 different YouTube videos where I am slipping in all this stuff, but the most important one is your superpowers are being activated, so you don't want to allow any form of kryptonite to mess you up, right? And I keep using the example of Whitney Houston, somebody who everybody knows all over the world, and you're able to really understand. You're able to understand, okay, hey, you know what? Whitney Houston, she got bigger, she got larger than life. She was able to move forward and everybody knew who she was. But then that kryptonite hit. That was her superpower, right? Her Achilles heel. She had not healed that, which again, I still feel as if it was her own family that killed her. Everything that happened and the backstabbing and stuff like that, the spiritual attack she went through that led her to do the amount of drugs for that period of time that she went through. And all of us who have gone through spiritual attacks knows this is not a nice space. But for that was her Achilles heel. This was an attack. This was her kryptonite. So don't let that become another form of kryptonite. Just purge everything from your heart and purge things from your behavior. Don't be looking at porn. Don't really be That's it, guys. So I'm in the middle of 7 different things, and I have 20 minutes to get to my next appointment, but I just felt like popping in here and letting you guys know what's up. All right, God bless you. I'll see you in the next episode.